If you fear the dark, you're not ready for what hides beneath it. Subscribe to the DREAD Diaries, before the ocean takes you too. The Atlantic was calm the morning Flight 219 lifted off from Miami International Airport. A twin-engine turboprop, modest in size yet trusted by regional pilots. It carried 12 passengers, families, tourists, and a crew who had flown the route dozens of times. Their destination was routine, Bermuda. A sunny island, a short flight. Nothing unusual. Except it was. At 9:47 a.m., barely 1 hour after takeoff, the aircraft vanished from radar. No distressed call. No warning. No gradual fade-out. 1 second it was there. The next, gone. Air traffic control replayed the tape 20 times, trying to catch even a flicker of radio static or background interference. There was nothing. The jet's transponder didn't fail gradually. It cut like a severed wire. Within minutes, the Coast Guard was mobilized. Helicopters carved through the air. Ships moved in coordinated grids. The Bermuda Triangle had always been a point of fascination, but today it was a crime scene, one defined by absence, silence, and an ocean too deep to argue with. The lead investigator, Commander Aaron Cole, arrived on the search vessel Valor at dawn the next morning. Tall, composed, and known for solving cases others abandoned, he stared across the endless horizon with a tightening jaw. He had studied the Triangle for 5 years, collecting case files that stretched back to the 1940s. Ships vanishing without debris, pilots reporting strange haze, compasses spinning wildly, radio calls thick with static and fear. He never believed in myths. But he believed in patterns. The first clue appeared at 10:14 a.m., a torn seat cushion floating alone in the waves, foam exposed, edges shredded not by teeth or tools but by violent impact. The ocean around it was undisturbed. No oil slick. No debris field. Nothing else. How does an entire aircraft disappear, one of the crew muttered, and leave behind only that? Cole didn't answer. He was staring at the GPS unit on the deck. Its compass needle jittered, sliding a few degrees left, then right, then freezing, then twitching again. The same malfunction reported by dozens of investigators in this region for decades. He wrote it down. Another pattern. Hours later, something far worse surfaced. One of the aircraft's life vests, still sealed. The straps had not been pulled. No one had tried to use it. Meaning whatever happened instantly. But the real dread began when the Valor intercepted the final radio log from Flight 219, the one transmission that had remained buried in a corrupt recording until technicians restored it. The file was marked, time, 9:46 and 52 seconds a.m., 8 seconds before the plane vanished. A faint voice crackled through the static. The pilot. Calm, steady, routine. Miami Center, this is Flight 219, experiencing minor instrument. A burst of noise swallowed his words. Compass alternating. Requesting, hold, coordinates not. Then a sharp metallic hum. A distortion, long and vibrating, like a sustained mechanical groan. Not natural. Not atmospheric. Everyone on the bridge leaned in as the final seconds played. Do you copy? We're seeing. Silence. 3 seconds. Then a background voice, not the pilot, whispered something unintelligible, too soft to decipher. And then, nothing. The recording ended with a short click, as if someone simply turned off the radio. Cole replayed it 4 times. His face didn't change, but his knuckles whitened on the console. What disturbed him wasn't the static, or the pilot's failing instruments. It was that second voice. There shouldn't have been one. Not on a commercial flight cockpit channel. Not from that distance. Not in that tone. It didn't belong. It wasn't part of the crew. It sounded like someone speaking right next to the microphone. But the plane was 12,000 feet above open ocean. No nearby aircraft. No overlapping frequencies. Cole ordered the recording sent to analysis immediately. By nightfall, the search had expanded to 30 square miles. The winds picked up. The waves grew taller. Radio communications flickered. It was as if the ocean itself was trying to push them out. At 7:41 p.m., the Valor sonar detected something beneath the surface, metallic, still, shaped like a fuselage. Hope surged. They lowered an ROV drone, its camera cutting through the darkness. At 170 feet, the ocean swallowed the last rays of sun. At 240 feet, visibility reduced to shadows. At 300 feet, the outline became clear. But it wasn't a plane. It wasn't even wreckage. It was a ship's hull. An old one, rusted, silent, lying on its side. Letters faintly visible beneath decades of algae and corrosion. SS Marlin, 1963. Another Bermuda Triangle disappearance. One of the eeriest of them all. Never found. Until now. And lying beside it was something the investigators could not explain. A perfectly preserved wooden crate. Unopened. Untouched by saltwater, as if sealed moments ago. A stark contrast against the century-old wreckage around it. "How the hell is that possible?" the drone operator whispered. "Bring it up," Cole ordered. When the crate was lifted onto the deck, the crew circled it like it was radioactive. The air around it felt wrong, thick, humid, colder than the night breeze. The seal was intact. The wood was dry, flawless, almost new. Cole stared at it for a long time before speaking. "Open it." A crowbar tore through the lid. What was inside did not match any manifest from the SS Marlin. It was not cargo. It was not equipment. It was a black box. But not from the Marlin. Not from any ship built in the 1960s. And definitely not from Flight 219. It was the same size, shape, and make as a modern aircraft data recorder. The problem was, it wasn't corroded. It wasn't damaged. And it wasn't supposed to be there. Cole lifted it slowly, turning it over in his hands. There was no flight ID tag. No serial number. No manufacturer's stamp. Completely blank. "What the hell is that?" someone asked. Cole didn't answer. Because at that exact moment, the recorder clicked. A quiet sound. A mechanical sound. Like it had just turned on. And then through the built-in speaker, a voice emerged. A voice they all recognized. The pilot of Flight 219. Saying a sentence that froze everyone on deck. "We are not alone in the clouds." The deck fell silent. Cole's breath caught in his throat. Because this transmission was not in the original radio log. It had never been recorded. Never transmitted. Never heard. And yet here it was, alive, real, echoing in the night air over the triangle. As if someone or something had kept it. And was giving it back. Cole stared at the black box, and for the first time in his career, he felt true fear crawl up his spine. Because whatever happened to Flight 219 wasn't finished. The black box sat on the steel table in the center of the ship's operations bay, its orange indicator light pulsing like a heartbeat. No one touched it now. No one wanted to. The crew kept their distance, their eyes drawn to its blinking signal as if it might speak again, or explode. Commander Cole stood closest. His face was set in a cold, unreadable mask, but inside his chest, unease twisted like a knot of rope. Nothing about this made sense. Not the crate, not the perfect condition of the device, not the voice they all heard. Because pilots don't radio whispers like that. Not unless something is very, very wrong. And never after their plane has vanished. Cole's radio crackled to life. "Commander, we've got movement on the south sonar, large object. Could be wreckage." "How large?" he asked. A pause. Too long. Large, and rising. Cole didn't wait. He was already running. The night sky over the Atlantic burned with stars, a cruel contrast to the churning black waters below. The Valor's floodlights carved pale paths across the sea. Crew members leaned over the rails, scanning the surface for the source of the sonar reading. Then someone shouted, "There! Starboard!" Something broke the waves, smooth, metallic, glinting like the belly of a whale. But it wasn't a creature. It wasn't alive. The waves peeled back and revealed the sharp angle of a wing. A plane's wing. Cole's pulse hammered. Flight 219. But the relief lasted only seconds. Because the wing, though smooth and intact, was wrong. There was no paint, no numbers, no logo, no indication of origin. A completely unmarked aircraft part. No corrosion, no sea damage, no marks of impact. As if it had just left a factory floor. "What are we dealing with?" someone whispered. The Valor's crane lifted the wing aboard. Water poured off it in sheets, sparkling under the floodlights. Cole ran his hand along the metal. It was cold. Too cold. He stepped back suddenly, as if burned. The metal wasn't just cold to the touch. It was cold through gloves. Refrigerated cold. Impossible cold. He didn't have time to ask questions. A second object surfaced. This time, it wasn't metal. It was a body. They pulled it aboard with a stretcher. A man, frozen stiff, eyes open, hands locked in front of him as if bracing against a violent drop. His clothing was intact. His skin? Pale, but not decomposed. Not bloated. Not waterlogged. Cole knew what corpses looked like after hours, let alone a day, in the Atlantic. This man looked like he died minutes ago. "ID him," Cole ordered quietly. The medic checked pockets, fingers trembling. There was no wallet. No passport. No tags. Nothing. Then the medic swallowed and pointed at the man's wrist. A watch. Still ticking. Cole leaned in. The watch hands were frozen. Stuck at 9:47 a.m. The exact time Flight 219 vanished. The medic whispered, "Sir, this body doesn't look like it's been in the water at all." Cole stood, mind racing. "Bag him. Full preservation. No one touches anything until we notify HQ." But as they zipped the bag over the man's face, a loud metallic bang echoed from below deck. The black box. It had started playing again. Cole and two crew members sprinted down the ladder into the operations bay. The black box now emitted a soft static hiss, lights intensifying as if reacting to their presence. Then the speaker cracked sharply, and the pilot's voice filled the room again. "Flight 219, this is Captain Reeves. Conditions worsening. Clouds forming, altitude, hold." Static. A burst of high-pitched tone. Then a sentence twisted with panic. "Something's moving through the fog. It's not." Cut. Silence. Another mechanical click. Then a new voice. Not shouting. Not panicked. Calm. Clear. Close to the microphone. A voice whispering two words. "Turn back." Cole froze. That voice was not from the pilot. Not from the co-pilot. Not from any crew member on the flight manifest. And yet, it sounded almost human. Someone swallowed behind him. "Commander, this isn't a normal black box." Cole didn't answer. His mind was splitting between dread and logic. Flight data recorders cannot, play recovered audio spontaneously. They require external power. Specialized equipment. Technical decoding. This one was speaking on its own. As if it wanted to be heard. Before Cole could speak, alarms blared overhead. The Valor's engines were failing. The deck tilted sharply as Cole emerged topside. Crew members stumbled, grabbing railings. The ocean around the vessel churned violently, but the sky remained eerily clear. No storm, no lightning, no wind change. "Navigation is down," the helmsman shouted. "Compass spinning." Cole didn't ask for readings. He could see the compass himself, needle jerking crazily, circling in rapid bursts like it was magnetized by an invisible force. Then the sky flickered. Not lightning. More like a pulse. A soft, silent flash that rolled across the clouds in one massive wave. The air changed. The atmosphere thickened. Every radio on the ship crackled at once. Then, through every speaker simultaneously, a faint voice bled in. "Mayday! Mayday! May!" Cole recognized it instantly. Captain Reeves. Flight 219. But this wasn't the same final message from the earlier recording. This was new, longer, more desperate. Mayday, losing altitude. Clouds are moving, around us shapes can't. Static ripped the air. Then another voice, faint, mechanical, layered, spoke through the interference. The same voice that whispered, "Turn back." Only this time, it said, "Do not follow." Every crew member turned their eyes to Cole. Because that message wasn't meant for the pilot. It was meant for them. The ocean surged violently, slamming into the ship. Floodlights snapped, flickered, and went dark. For a moment, the Valor was plunged into blackness. When emergency lights kicked in, Cole staggered as he saw something rising in the distance. Massive, angular, metallic. A structure? A vessel? A wreckage? No. Too large. Too smooth. Too wrong. It breached the surface like a mountain of steel, water cascading down its sides. Gray, unmarked, silent. A shape that no known aircraft or ship matched. A structure too big to be hidden. Too impossible to exist here. The crew stared, paralyzed. Cole whispered, "What the hell is that?" Then the thing, whatever it was, sank again into the black depths without a sound. As if it had only surfaced to look at them. The radios crackled one last time. A whisper. The same one. Come. Close. Cold. You were warned. Then, the Valor's lights died. The compass froze. The ocean went still. The Bermuda Triangle had gone silent again. And Cole realized with a sinking feeling that whatever took Flight 219 was now watching them. The Valor drifted dead in the water for almost a full minute, though to the crew, it felt like an hour. No engines. No navigation. No radio. Just the low metallic groan of the hull adjusting to an unnaturally calm sea. Commander Cole gripped the rail, staring at the stretch of black water where the massive structure had surfaced. Nothing remained but gentle ripples spreading outward in the spotlight glow. No debris. No disturbance. No trace. It was as if the ocean itself had swallowed the object whole. "Emergency power is stable," the chief engineer called out. His voice cracked with tension. "Engines offline, but we're not taking water." Cole forced his mind to focus. Restart procedures. Get us back online. Move fast. But he already knew what most of the crew suspected. Equipment doesn't cut out like this. Not all at once. Not in calm weather. And not in the exact area where a commercial jet vanished without a trace. Some of the younger sailors whispered theories, electromagnetic anomalies, sonic disturbances, even classified military experiments. Cole shut it all down. He needed facts. Not panic. But facts were becoming harder to hold onto. The operations bay was dim when Cole returned. Emergency lights glowed a dull red across the floor. The black box still sat on the steel examination table, silent now, its pulsing indicator frozen. Cole approached cautiously, half expecting it to whisper again. It didn't. But something was different. A thin line of moisture traced the bottom edge of the box and ran down the side of the table. Not seawater, this was clear, perfectly clean, unnaturally cold to the touch. It almost steamed in the warm air. Condensation? No device should create cold like this. Before Cole could call it out, the lead technician hurried over. "Commander, you need to see this." He led Cole to the adjacent monitor station. One screen displayed a suspended video feed, recorded by the Valor's hull cameras moments before the blackout. At first, the footage looked unremarkable. Dark sea, faint wake, small particles drifting by the lens. Then the technician scrubbed back 3 seconds. There. Cole leaned closer. In the frame, barely illuminated by the ship's lights, was a formation of shapes beneath the surface. Not debris. Not fish. Something geometrically aligned. Symmetrical. They looked like panels. Or plates. Or the exterior of an immense structure resting on the sea floor. How deep was this? Cole asked. The technician swallowed. Approximately 200 meters. Too shallow for something that large. Far too shallow for something that had surfaced without disturbing the water in any measurable way. Cole rubbed a hand over his face. Save the footage. No one discusses this until we report it. That was when another crewman burst into the bay. Commander body room. Cole's stomach dropped. The recovered body. The lower deck was colder than before. Freezing, almost. When Cole stepped inside the storage chamber, he saw frost on the metal cabinets. His breath came out white. "What happened to the temperature controls?" he asked. "They're normal," said the medic, voice trembling. "This isn't us." Cole approached the table where the retrieved man lay. They had zipped the body bag earlier, but now it sat open. No one admitted opening it. The corpse's face was visible under the harsh fluorescent light. Skin pale. Eyes closed. Arms resting at the sides. But something was undeniably different. The hands. Earlier, the man's fingers had been frozen in a curled defensive posture. Now they lay flat. Relaxed. Natural. As if the muscles had thawed. Or as if rigor mortis had reversed. Or as if... No. Cole refused to finish the thought. "What's the official explanation here?" one of the younger crewmen whispered. The medic shook his head. "There isn't one." Then the radio on Cole's hip, dead minutes ago, clicked sharply. Through static, a distorted voice muttered, "Don't follow us." Cole stepped back, heart hammering. The voice wasn't Captain Reeves. It wasn't a crew member. It didn't match any recorded audio they had heard. It was the same calm whisper from the black box. The same voice that surfaced with the wing. The same voice that warned them during the blackout. The same voice that now echoed across their private radio channel. Despite the radio still being offline, Cole snapped the radio off entirely. He turned to the crew. "Seal this room. No one enters until sunrise." But as they left, the lights flickered, and the corpse's watch, still stuck at 9:47 a.m., ticked forward 1 second. Just one. Then froze again. On deck, the ocean had gone unnaturally flat. A glass-like calm that sailors fear far more than any storm. The moon reflected perfectly across the water surface, clear enough to mistake the sea for polished obsidian. The Valor's engines roared back to life at 2:17 a.m. The crew erupted in relief. But Cole didn't celebrate. Because at that exact moment, the radar lit up with a new signal. A transponder code. 219. Cole stared at the screen, throat tightening. That's the flight code for the missing aircraft, the navigator whispered. Impossible. Transponder codes aren't picked up days after disappearance. And certainly not from underwater. Range. Cole asked. 3 miles. A beat. "Commander, the signal is moving." Cole locked onto the navigator's eyes. "Toward us." The navigator nodded. The bridge went silent. Then, the forward floodlight flickered on. It illuminated the water. Black. Still. Empty. But the radar showed the contact closing fast. 2 miles. 1 mile. Half mile. Then, the signal vanished. Just like that. As if whatever broadcast it had dived straight down. Or shut itself off. Or passed beneath them. The helmsman whispered, "Sir, permission to leave the area?" Cole didn't hesitate. Full speed. Now. The Valor surged forward, engines trembling as if resisting the order. But the ship obeyed, carving a harsh wake across the flat surface. As they accelerated, several crew members looked back over the stern. Some claimed they saw lights beneath the water. Some said they saw metallic outlines. Some swore a second shadow followed the ship for almost a mile. None of it appeared on radar. None of it was recorded. But all of them heard the final transmission. A faint, almost thoughtful whisper, picked up briefly on every turned-off radio aboard. "This is not your airspace." And then, silence. Absolute. The Valor did not slow until it left the triangle's mapped boundaries at 6:42 a.m. Cole filed his report. He submitted the evidence, most of which had inexplicably corrupted en route. The crew was debriefed. The incident was classified. Flight 219 was never found. But the recordings, the cold, the submerged structures, the whispers, those remained. And Commander Cole, to this day, insists on a single detail that investigators could never explain. The body they recovered from the sea. It was already listed as dead, pronounced aboard Flight 219, at 9:47 a.m., the exact time the watch froze, the exact moment the entire flight vanished.